Hey guys, how's it going? Laura with Garden Answer. We are at Cultivate 2017 in Columbus, Ohio. So Cultivate is like a huge trade show. It is massive. Proven Winners brought us out here, and there's so much stuff that I want to show you guys, but we thought we would kind of break it up into a couple of videos because there's so much to see. So in this video, I wanted to just give you guys a tour of the Proven Winners booth. It is really big. There's a lot of really pretty plants and a lot of really cool ideas. So this is the entry right here. They brought in some really neat metal work into this year's display, starting with this beautiful sign. I really love it. I love the lighting coming from underneath. And then you can just see how they've kind of staged all these plants to look like they're in the landscape. And the colors are totally up my alley. The whole scheme, the color scheme this year is kind of pinks and purples and whites, and it's just like that is what I like to plant in my own garden, so I'm loving this. So I just want to show you guys some close-ups of plants. We're just going to kind of slowly move our way through this display so you guys can see it all. Starting with this Invincibelle Wee White Hydrangea. This is a Hydrangea arborescens, so it's a wonderful Annabelle type hydrangea that blooms on new wood. The really cool thing about this one is that it only grows 12 to 30 inches tall. Like, it's a really small hydrangea that you can fit anywhere in your garden. This one will be available next year. So that's the really fun part about this display, is you get to see a lot of stuff that's coming up. Some really cool plants. Another one that I really love up here is the Primo Black Pearl Heuchera. Beautiful, deep color. I actually have some of these at my house that I'm getting ready to plant. This is going to be the 2018 perennial of the year. So it's going to be big, you guys. You guys are going to see this everywhere, and you guys need to have some in your garden. And it looks really good up against, you know, these kind of creamy pinks, whites. The Gara right here is really beautiful. And of course, the Autumn Frost hostas. And then if we move our way kind of across this aisle, this is called a Lovey-Dovey Supertunia. And I just think it's just so sweet. It looks really pretty with the dark colored foliage that they've kind of accented in this display. And if we move even further, there's a Spildwine Weigela, which is the shrub of the year for next year. And it blooms really beautiful deep pink blooms. I'm excited to get some of these in my garden as well. And then right here is another Heuchera. This is called Primo Wild Rose. You might remember this from one of our recent landscape makeovers. I planted a whole big drift of these in our garden, and I think it's one of my favorites at this point. If you look at the back side of the foliage, look at that, kind of that rosy pink. It's beautiful. So let's make our way into the interior part of the display. So you can see when you look from the front of this display back, you kind of start in the outside of the garden. You've got flower beds surrounding you, you've got a beautiful gazebo, which the patio lights will be on here soon. And you guys, I forgot to mention, we decided to come and film this tour video early in the morning before the show opened because we were here yesterday all day and it was so busy and there were so many people here, which is awesome. But we thought, ooh, that's gonna be really hard to film because, you know, you guys won't be able to see a whole bunch of what's in here. So we thought that this would be a really good time. So the lights will be on here in a little bit, but you can see the outside here. And then as you move further into the display, it kind of moves from outside to inside. And you can see how you can incorporate flowers and plants into your interior landscape. They've got some really great ideas. So a really cool thing I'm seeing a lot of in this display is the mix of warm wood with metals, so kind of an industrial vibe. It's really welcoming. I really love it. Right here they've got the entire lineup of 2018 plants. So the annual of the year is Supertunia Bordeaux, the Primo Black Pearl Heuchera, and then the Spildwine Weigela. So it's just a beautiful mix. I'm so excited about all these plants. And then a lot of tonals displays. I just actually posted a picture of this on Instagram last night and you guys just really loved it. I do too. It's all playing off the Pantone color called Greenery. So they've just taken that color and they went with it. And it really works. Of course the couch is beautiful, but see how they've got all of this warm wood in with this color here? I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. They did bring in a tiny bit of yellow. So there's a tiny bit of like a color pop in there in the plant there, and then there's a coleus up there that has a little yellow variegation, and I really think that that brings a lot of depth to it, even though it doesn't really fight. It doesn't really take away from the theme, it adds to it. And you can see more of that right here. You can see the Agaranthemum butterfly here with some coleus, and then they've incorporated a little bit of pink, but they've kind of explained, you know, the color palette and what they're working with here. And then right in front of me, I can't forget to show you this. I think these are so cool. These are plant stands that are freestanding. So they, you know, don't have to go in the ground. They're on a really big, heavy base. And one of the guys here that's really involved in everything that goes into these kind of displays and into new plants that come into Proven Winners, he saw something like this in Europe when he was at a show or something over there. He took a picture of it and found somebody to make these. I think they are so cool, especially with the Black-Eyed Susan vine. Those are so cool. There's a couple more areas in the front part of this display I wanted to show you. First of all, right to my left, there is a wall of crates. They've built a really neat arbor here and a really great way to utilize a lot of color, a lot of pretty blooms. And they've got everything super well labeled. So you can see here, they've got labels of everything they have in all of these crates. So that anybody that's in here that thinks, you know, ooh, I want to add that one into my garden next year, they can easily make a note. So next year they can remember, you know, what they saw when they were here. Again, another incorporation of warm wood pieces with one of my favorites, the lemon coral sedum. I love using this in succulent displays. And then this is the other thing I wanted to show you. This is where they have brought in kind of a botanical vibe, which is, you know, of course, perfect. And a lot of repurpose, like showing how to, you know, create a planter out of an old dresser. Pull the drawers out, create some drainage, and there you go. You've got a beautiful planter, a really unique look. And I'm a fan of this style. Like the botanical look, you know, the birds and botanical sketches, things like that. And it looks like these. I was trying to figure out what these are. But I think that would be very easy to do, to find metal baskets like this. And they don't even necessarily need to be that shape, but like I was thinking, you could probably find something like that like at a school supply kind of thing, or maybe like shower caddy, something like that you could spray paint and just attach to the wall, line with moss, and plant up. How cool is that? Okay, and then we're gonna go through this little gallery right here. I think this is so neat. I love how they've created picture frame planters. I think that there's actually a DIY on the website explaining how to create this look, and you can take it all different ways. I mean, look at this one. They've used a Pegasus begonia, some Ipomea, beautiful caladium that I love. Let me look at the name of this one. Artful Heartfire. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know why I don't have any of these in my garden yet. Next year. And then this one right here is gorgeous with the pinks. But I just love this. I love how they've created kind of an art gallery. They've got beautiful Black-Eyed Susan vine up here, so you feel like you're still outside, but then they've got a beautiful way to display some gorgeous stuff. So toward the back side of this display, they've just got a bunch of varieties of plants, and they all are absolutely amazing. We had some time yesterday to really kind of comb through them all, and I actually saw some that I've never planted before, like come this way. So I'm going to try to be pretty selective about what I'm going to show you, because I could just spend hours showing you all of these plants because I think they're all amazing. But I'm just going to show you some of my favorites. So starting with this one right here, this is a Super Bells double orchid. And I really like this one because there's like some smoky tones to it. If you kind of get up close on this, you can see like some brown, smoky pink colors in there. It's not like just a true pink, and it's a double, and I like any flower that's a double. And then, like I said up front, this is the grass, you guys. This is a Prairie Winds totem pole. It's a type of panicum, super hardy grass, hardy down to a zone 4, I believe. But look at how beautiful that is. I love the strappy blue foliage. I really like that texture in the garden. Okay, so I'm gonna swing around this way. So this is called Midnight Masquerade Pennisetum, and I am just such a huge fan of pennisetums because they do so well in my area. And you know how that goes when you have something that just thrives and blooms its head off and just does well every single year. It kind of falls into the category of favorites. And I think the color is just absolutely gorgeous. We've got kind of a light lavender with white, kind of a bicolor bloom. And this one, this is a Toucan Coral Canna. I am such a coral fan. I think that this is so gorgeous. I have the Toucan Rose in a couple of containers. You guys might remember me planting those up in a couple of black urns. And I really like those one as well, but I am just such a coral fan. I just think this is such a pleasing color. This is a Luscious Royale Cosmo Lantana, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous because it's got a bunch of different colors in it. It's got kind of apricot yellow, kind of a buttery yellow, and then a pink. Kind of all the way ranging from a baby pink down to a deep pink. So you kind of get like this whole range of colors. It's amazing. And I know I haven't used a ton of lantana in my arrangements, and I don't know why that is, because I do use them. I put them in all kinds of people's pots that bring them down to the garden center, and I did incorporate some into our pots at home this year, and I really need to be using more of it. I really like that. And this one right here is called a Tangerine Slice Appeal Thunbergia Black-Eyed Susan Vine. Look at the color on this one. I actually like this one, I think, more than the traditional Black-Eyed Susan Vine, so more than just that yellow one. I just love this color. I think it's got a richness to it, and I think it would look beautiful as a centerpiece, like climbing up a trellis in a container with other things cascading down, or just by itself. Absolutely wonderful. And this one is just such a happy flower. This is a vanilla butterfly improved agaranthemum, and it's just, these are just such workhorse plants. I haven't planted these a ton of my garden, but I planted a lot of them this year in particular, and they just get huge. Like this right here is one plant, and that's about how mine are doing at home. I actually put 3 in one container because you know how I am, like I like to put lots of stuff in containers, and I'm actually thinking, you know what, next year, just 1. You don't need 3 in a container, 1 will do. So this is Supertunia Mulberry Charm. This one must be new. I haven't seen it before, but isn't that sweet? It's like a mini version of the Bordeaux almost. This is the At Last Rose, which I'm getting ready to plant a little hedge of these in my garden. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. They're a double, so they look like a mini David Austin rose, which I absolutely love. And they're a type that doesn't need to be deadheaded in order to continue blooming. They're a type that doesn't have to be cut back or really, I mean, it's just to shape. You can cut them back to shape, and that's pretty much it. They're a super low maintenance rose, and I just really like the color a lot. Okay, so this is the very last one I'm going to show you back here. This is called the Super Bells Over Easy. I just used some of these in my containers at home. This one will be new next year. I love it because you can see that it's like a white Super Bells, but the throat is a yellow color, so it kind of resembles an Over Easy egg. And I like whites and yellows and things. I think it's a nice bright pop in a container, so I just really like this one. All right, so one more area in this display, and then we're going to move on to a couple other displays. So this is the last spot here. This is where Aaron and I have been hanging out mostly, because on this TV right here, they've been playing our videos kind of on a loop. So that's so much fun to see that happening. And of course, they've got a beautiful display here too. This could like belong in a potting shed or a mudroom or anywhere in a home. I just think it's so pretty. It actually inspires me. I want to go home and redo some of my shelves and add some more plant life in. I just think it's so pretty. Okay, so there's a couple other areas that are highlighting Proven Winners shrubs and perennials, so let's go check those out. All right, so point of reference, this is where we started right here. This is the beginning of the big display, and then right to my left, right down this whole lane here, we've got Proven Winners shrubs, hydrangeas, roses, butterfly bushes, and perennials. So starting right in here, we've got some gorgeous butterfly bushes, and they're smelling this area up. I really like the smell of butterfly bushes. And then back here, I wanted to show you this. This is called a straight-laced elderberry. It's like a black lace elderberry, but a little bit different in that they grow really columnar. So they grow 6 to 10 feet tall and only 2 to 4 feet wide. So what an amazing kind of pillar structure for your garden with that dark, beautiful foliage. And then moving this way, you can see some beautiful Rose of Sharon's right here. Look at that bloom. This is called an orchid satin. And then another gorgeous display of roses. Here's some more of the Atlas that I love so much. A few other colors here. Ooh, is this one of the small ones? Oh, yeah. So this one, you guys, this is called Winecraft Black. This is a smoke bush that's coming out, I think, next spring. So if you are familiar with smoke bushes, you know that most of them get massive, like 10 to 12 feet tall and wide. You have to have a huge spot for them. These ones only get 4 to 6 feet tall and wide. So a lot more manageable size, so you can squeeze them into your garden a lot easier. I want some of these in my garden. And then this beautiful Invincibelle display. We've got Invincibelle Limetta right here. These are Invincibelle Mini Mauvettes, beautiful color. And then if we come this way, we've got a little quickfire hydrangea, and I'm so excited to see this because this was part of one of our landscape makeovers as well. But the ones that I planted in the ground were pretty small. They didn't have any blooms yet. So to see this, like sitting here full of blooms and see it turning color like this is really fun. So that's the shrub display, and these all come from Spring Meadow, which we have done a video there in the past. We did a video about how shrubs are made. We'll link it down below so you guys can check it out, but it's a beautiful display. Right to our left, this is a display from Walters Gardens, which they do many of the Proven Winners perennials. So this is what the focus is here, are all the beautiful perennials here. We've got gorgeous heucherellas here, which I'm such a fan of. So heucherellas are a mix between a tiarella and a heuchera. So they kind of blend both of the good traits of both of them into one amazing plant. So this one's called I Spy. Beautiful, deeply lobed foliage. with the beautiful deep colored variegation in the center. This one is called Red Rover right here. I planted some of these in my parents' garden last year, I think. They're doing really, really well, and I love the color of those. Can you kind of sense a theme here with all the dark colored foliage? I just love it, especially up next to these brighter pops of color. This is an echinacea called Lakota Santa Fe. This one I believe is coming out next year. Love the kind of hot summer colors on that one. And then this is one of my personal favorites. This is a Veronica. This one's called Magic Show Enchanted Indigo, and I really love purple flowers. I love any kind of spiky flower. For some reason it does something for me, and these just perform so well in the garden. I really like them, especially like, look at this. Look at that foliage next to each other. The colors, even with this one right here. This is called a Hopscotch Cucurella. Just really pretty. I love how they put all the colors together. It's inspiring, isn't it, to see, like when you see displays like this and see professionals put together what looks really nice, it really gives you lots of good ideas. And then here is another one of the totem pole panicum grasses. I just wanted to show you this one because I could give you size reference. Look at how huge this grass is. I mean, who wouldn't want this in their garden? It's such a centerpiece, like striking plant. So you guys, that is the tour of the Proven Winners booth here. We showed you the annual section, the shrubs and the perennials. It's really an impressive display. I think that this display total was at least double the size of last year's display. It's kind of fun to be here a second year in a row. You kind of know the ropes a little bit better, but then you can also see how things change and how they evolve and how much more amazing things get as years progress. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all of this, and we will be coming out with another tour kind of more of the entire show, showing a little bit more of who is here, giving you kind of the scope, like an idea of the scope of this show. It's absolutely huge. I think you guys are going to love it. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one. Bye.